The heat in the slum was unbearable, especially for a 12-year-old girl carrying 2 jerry cans full of water down a dusty road. Her name was Asha, and she had never known anything but hardship. Asha lived in a makeshift shack on the edge of Mumbai, where clean water was more expensive than gold. Her mother had died when she was 5, and her father, once a rickshaw driver, was bedridden after an accident. Every morning before sunrise, Asha would walk 3 miles to the nearest water tanker, queue for hours, and haul water back to her neighborhood to sell it by the cup. It wasn't a business she wanted. It was a business she inherited. The neighbors called her the Rain Girl, because she was always soaked in sweat or rainwater, never resting. She earned barely enough to feed her father and herself. Most days, she went to sleep hungry. But Asha didn't complain. Complaining didn't feed her father. Complaining didn't bring her mother back. One day, while waiting in line at the tanker, she overheard 2 men talking about a new government water filter project. The idea sparked something in her, a hope she hadn't felt in years. That night, Asha snuck into a local cyber cafe and used a computer for the first time. Her hands trembled as she typed in, "How to start a water business." She read about filtration, purification, storage systems, words that sounded foreign and expensive. But she read anyway. Her eyes ached, but her heart beat faster with each paragraph. Asha began saving. Every rupee she earned selling cups of water, she put aside 10 paisa. People laughed when she told them she wanted to build her own water station. "You can't even afford shoes," they sneered. But she smiled. Not because she agreed, but because she had a dream, and dreams are more powerful than doubt. Asha made a decision. She would not be a victim of her circumstances. She would be their destroyer. 4 months, she worked harder than ever. She skipped meals. She walked farther. She studied blueprints and filtration methods on borrowed books and donated newspapers. When she heard of a city council program offering microloans to young entrepreneurs, she applied, heart pounding. The interviewer looked at her cracked hands, her torn clothes, and said, "You want to start a company?" Asha nodded. Not just a company. A solution. 3 weeks later, a letter arrived. She had been granted a $10,000 loan. It was more money than she had ever seen. She cried that night. Not because she was overwhelmed, but because she knew the real work had only just begun. With the money, she bought a second-hand filter tank and a small pump. She set up shop in a corner of her shack. It wasn't much, but it was clean, filtered water. Her first customer was a young mother who had lost her baby to diarrhea a year ago. She paid for the water with folded hands and tearful eyes. Word spread. "The Rain Girl has clean water," people whispered. Lines formed outside her shack. Some tried to sabotage her. A jealous neighbor punctured her water drum. She repaired it with old bicycle tires and a prayer. One day, an official from a local NGO visited her shack. He was stunned to see her handmade filtration system and her organized ledger. "Who taught you this?" he asked. "Hardship," Asha replied. Impressed, the NGO featured her in a documentary. Her story went viral. People from around the world sent donations, letters, and even offers to help expand her project. Asha didn't use the money to buy fancy things. She built a second station, then a third. By her 16th birthday, she had employed 15 local women, all of them single mothers or widows. Her father, once too weak to speak, began to recover. He watched his daughter rise from dirt roads to boardrooms with pride swelling in his chest. Asha never forgot the long, thirsty nights or the pain in her spine from carrying jerry cans. She used every memory as fuel. A major investor once offered to buy her business. She declined. "This isn't just a business. It's a promise to every girl carrying water right now." She gave TED Talks. She was interviewed by newspapers. But she always returned to her slum, to the place where it all began. One rainy afternoon, a little girl tugged on her sleeve and said, "Miss Asha, I want to be like you." Asha bent down, looked into her eyes and said, "Then don't stop. No matter what. Even if no one believes in you, believe in yourself." Over the next few years, Asha's model was replicated across slums in India. Her idea saved thousands of lives and created hundreds of jobs. She founded an organization called the Rain Project, dedicated to empowering girls through clean water and education. She built a school. Not just any school, but one powered by solar energy, filled with books about science, leadership, and courage. When asked what drove her, she always gave the same answer: "I was tired of watching dreams die of thirst." One day, she was invited to speak at the United Nations. Standing on stage in front of world leaders, she began with her story of carrying water as a child. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. "Hardship taught me everything success could not. Pain was my university. Persistence was my degree." After the speech, a diplomat whispered, "That girl didn't just sell rainwater, she bottled hope." And in that moment, the girl who once sold water by the cup became a symbol of what is possible when you refuse to give up, even when the world is thirsty for miracles. Asha's journey reminds us that even in the harshest conditions, greatness can grow. She didn't wait for opportunity. She created it. Through sleepless nights, relentless determination, and the belief that her struggle had purpose, Asha turned pain into progress and dreams into reality. Her story is proof that hardship is not the end. It's the beginning of transformation. When the world says, "You can't," persistent hard work whispers, "Just try one more time." And sometimes, one more time is all it takes to change everything. No matter where you come from, no matter how little you have, if you refuse to give up, you too can build something that changes the world. Keep going. Your breakthrough might be just one step beyond your struggle.